You're mad because you sent me $200 when you were asking me why I don't just go back to your brother because that's a better idea than being homeless and struggling to get my own way in a different state. That I left Washington specifically because, regardless of finding out that this man has been knowing that this baby is potentially not his, despite him saying, "Oh, I'm trying to honor and respect and cover her," when we were never together. You weren't there for the conversations about his ex wife and him saying we were never together, so my expectation of him being crazy should not be there. He's only trying to make sure I'm good because of the baby. You weren't there for when my mom was in the apartment and I asked him to give me a back massage. I'm thinking I'm safe because why would he try to sexualize a massage after I've had a baby in front of my mom? But he's rubbing his junk all on my butt and then trying to tell me, "I'm just so proud of you as a mother. You just make me feel like you're such a good mom," all this stuff. Because he was trying to fuck. You weren't there when he was trying to fuck in front of my daughter. And he kept fucking watching her when he was fucking me. You weren't there when he kept his eyes on her when she woke up and I told him to stop. You weren't there. You weren't there. You know what you were there for? You were there to tell me that I have postpartum. I shouldn't be worrying about your brother's background. I shouldn't be worried about the past and the history. I should be worried about my postpartum emotional ass. And that's where it really went downhill. Because no one gave a fuck about no postpartum shit. Get it together, Shantia. Your life is not about you no more, Shantia. Your daughter matters the most. You and him went to visit that daycare several times. I brought up several concerns that I've had, and it always came back to, I said, I'm worried about her eating bottles because she doesn't take bottles when I'm not there. She doesn't take bottles, period. Oh, so you just think you just feel special because all she wants is breast milk? Why is that the response instead of telling me advice about how to make sure she can eat? She was abused at that daycare. Y'all were visiting. Y'all were trying to make sure everything was good. Y'all didn't make sure shit was good besides the fact that you were physically present. Did I know that it took a year before you couldn't just change the name of a birth certificate or change a birth certificate? You had to wait a year before you have to have permission from the father. Why didn't he take a DNA test at the hospital when I told him this is the perfect opportunity to make sure this is your child? Oh, because he's trying to honor me. Why did he try to honor me? We weren't together. You went to my friend and complained about how the other nigga in the car was really her dad and that I'm trying to play. I'm trying to play. I'm trying to play. While I'm over here like, no, that's your daughter. That's why this is even going on. So instead of confronting me in any viable way, because in my mind, I'm like, you're just mad because I'm talking to somebody else. You thought it was not your child, but you refused to take a DNA test. This is the same person that when she had doctor's appointments to do genetic testing, he refused to show up. I had to go through the whole pregnancy and the first 2 years of her life, making sure that the things that were potentially going to happen to her didn't happen to her because he never took a DNA test. But you want to sit here and say, where's my daughter on a public platform? The only reason I put my daughter out there in the first place was because of the abuse. I wanted it to be in her words, in her ability to communicate so that everybody understood what I understood. But you're trying to sit there and say, where's my daughter? Because I'm talking about myself? I haven't talked to you for a reason. You sat there and said you want to send me $3,000 on some shady shit because that nigga spent $3,000 on a house with a random bitch that he found and was trying to convince me to be in a fucking throuple with. Were you there? Or you just know that he's mad about some $3,000? Did you know he spent $3,000 on a car when I asked him to help me pay for the shit on my car? You want to sit there and complain about helping him with some Les Schwab tire shit? Did you know he spent a whole car that had the same exact problem as my car? And told me to drive that one around? Because he doesn't know cars? Wouldn't talk to me about my car? I had to go sell my car, the one I owned, and had to ask him to borrow the car that he had. Why? Because I couldn't afford the catalytic converter to be replaced. And the catalytic converter in that car still was running, even though it couldn't go nowhere. I couldn't go to work in that car. Oh, he was paying rent. That nigga was staying on the couch. So as long as you stay on the couch, yeah, pay some rent. Oh, you're going to talk bad about me going to my mom's house because it's a volatile, hostile environment? I'd rather spend a month at my mom's house or whatever amount of time to get my shit together than deal with you. And you're telling everybody that's a terrible move? That I go and spend time with my mom, who I've lived with several times, with my daughter, than to deal with you in a different county, a different city, far enough away where no one comes to check on me. My family that was even close enough to do so moved. So yeah, I'm moving closer to family. For one, I only live there because you work down the street from there. So it was really about your convenience, trying to be available so that you could visit your daughter. But did I know you were going to have, when you had your other kid around that wasn't your kid, that her mom was going to be outside of my parking lot the whole time? That you were going to bring my daughter around her, who was saying that that's not your kid and that you're wasting your time, and if anything, you got played, blah, 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 and threats on her life? Kara, were you around for these things? Because you're over here talking mad shit on something. Because why? You spent some money on a wedding that you wanted. The whole premise was for her to meet the extended family because they're older and they're getting out. They're getting up there in age. This is an opportunity to meet the older people in your family. And you know what I did when we got out there? I also said, I told him he should take a DNA test. Everybody, she looks just like this person, just like that person. She also is just, your family looks like my family. So it really don't matter what she looked like to that. I apparently also look like that. But I told him to take a DNA test. And everybody was silent in the room. Everybody's trying to be honorable and respectful. You know what they said when I first walked in? They're not here to meet me. They're here to meet the baby. That's fine. But that's not how you introduce yourself to a person that you want to see around or you want to know exists. I'm not here to meet you. I'm here to meet your baby. Okay. But you also have to understand, I'm here to protect my baby. You are showing her off to everybody because they haven't seen you in a decade plus. And you have a quote unquote new baby. So they're thinking this is an opportunity to be around you. Whatever the fucking reason has nothing to do with me. I went because I was like, let her meet her older family. We went to the wedding. Everybody's like, oh, they're together. He didn't correct them. I'm not thinking that's a big thing because it's a wedding. Like, you don't have to sit there and correct everybody for a weekend. We're only going to be here really one day where we got to meet everybody. But he's playing into it. The ring that he's walking around with suddenly is on his ring finger. Playing. I don't got no ring. Why are you doing that? But you're making everybody else think that we're engaged or we got some type of serious thing going on. So when I'm over here like, no, Ben said no, don't matter about no other dude, because the dude that was in that car, I hadn't seen, talked to on a regular basis up until that point because I was trying to honor this man. I was pregnant in July in Seattle, Capitol Hill apartment with him because I wanted to make sure that I asked my baby father for help before I asked my dad for help because I lost my apartment. That was me trying to be responsible. If we're supposed to be, this is supposed to be, you're the dad, And it has nothing to do with, oh, he should have took a DNA test so he would have known. No, I'm believing that this is her dad. And I'm mad at him because this is already past the fact that you should have gone to the DNA test, the DNA marker test, the genetic marker testing. You should have went to that. And honestly, this is the perfect conversation to have because I clearly am realizing most people don't understand when I keep saying the person that I thought was my baby daddy is not the person who is the baby daddy. Because you know what? He was right. He was right. The dude in the car was her dad. Did I know that at the time? No, because I had a period that I figured I'm clear. I'm not pregnant. I'm ready to move on into another situation. But that's not how it works. And I'm trying to acknowledge it. But you're trying to make it seem like that's irrelevant to the fact that he refused to take a DNA test. He refused to be a part of the appointment setting. He went to one appointment where she had her shots. And she got her shots really fucked up on that day. She still has a scar from one of the shots. And what did that man do? Say how he could never go again. It's too much. He's going to go and flash on somebody. You should have flashed that day. And then you never showed up again. Yeah, I do believe that it has to do with the fact that everybody thought I was a single mom. I mean, I am technically at that time because you're showing up for one appointment. And I'm trying to have an environment where you're around regularly, but you're taking advantage of, oh, you can sleep on the couch and you can, if it works that you can pay some rent and you can stay on this couch, cool. But you're not supposed to be here every single day. This wasn't supposed to be a permanent situation. The only reason that I'm even asking you for help to pay rent is because I don't have a car. The car that you quote unquote offered me does not take me to work. I can't go get my job back. It doesn't drive that far. So I'm like, okay, I'm really screwed. I went through emergency funding already to get help with rent. So for that amount of time, you were still coming over, still spending time with her, supposedly, trying to talk to me. But when it came to the end of that, instead of, where did the car come from? Like, it's just so many things where it's like, oh, it's just because it just didn't work out. And it's like, no, there's very specific actions that he's like, oh, so you're just using me for, like when I got the emergency funding, I had to apply for food stamps. I had to apply for all the other stuff so I could qualify for the emergency housing. Because he's on the birth certificate, which he insists on doing, Mr. Oh, well, I won because I'm on the birth certificate. What the fuck was that? Is mad because that automatically makes him up for child support. This man evaded child support the whole time. You're over here coming over and spending time, but I don't know where you actually stay. I don't know what your permanent address is for your job. I'm telling them your work information, and you keep changing work locations. I don't know how to contact them. I'm over here like the minimum. I just want her to be able to be around her dad. Giving you time. She's old. Oh, I can't take her out because she only takes the bottle. I can't take her out because she needs to be changed. I can't take her out, all these things. And when you finally start taking her out for like 2-3 hours at a time, I'm acting like that wasn't necessarily the best experience for her because she never was smiling in the pictures that you showed me of her doing stuff with you. And then you were complaining because the last time that you had her around was her wearing too small clothes. You didn't know that I was moving. And I didn't want to tell you because that's not your business. The last conversation that we had in that apartment, when you bit me on the chin, oh, I don't know nothing about that. Yeah, because that nigga knew not to leave any scars. He bit me just enough to be like, bitch, I'm crazy. The conversation was about the fact, because there was 2 conversations in 2 different days, and then the last one led to you biting me on the chin. Me flicking you on the nose and you saying that I smacked you in the face. I accidentally flicked you on the chin because you leaned forward as I went like that trying to make a point. But then you try to say you're going to call the police on me and tell them that I bit you or that I hit you in the face and I'm going to get arrested. I'm going to get you arrested. You're domestic violence. Trying to record me on your phone, talking about she hit me. I said, yeah, I'm going to admit to flicking you because that's what happened. But if you want to say that that's hitting, then you start turning the phone off because, yeah, I'm explaining that that's not what happened. That conversation was about you telling me how your ex had HPV, had cervical cancer, was about to get a hysterectomy, and how it was because, what was it? I was like, man, I know, because he's like, yeah, you said you've had HPV before. Yeah, when I was in college, I had an abnormal pap one time, and then never in all the paps I've gotten have gotten another abnormal pap. But the fact that she had HPV when because I met him a year before I actually started talking to him. This is the story. This is what matters. And I'm going to just say it because I don't care. This man wants to act like he don't know shit because it works for him. He's a 44-year-old man. Like, are you kidding me? You're 11 years older than me and you're talking about being able to be fooled, being played. That someone that went to jail for fraud, someone that went to jail for playing. Are you kidding me? I met this man when I was working at a senior center. He worked at a gas station, Jackson's gas station. And I went into the gas station one time with my friend and I was like, oh, he's kind of cute. He got an ugly ass style and he has weird ass eyes, but he's not bad looking. And I was like, I'm gonna put myself out there and be bold because every nigga I've allowed to talk to me up until this point has been a bust. Total, like Washington niggas just suck. So I'm like, okay, let's give him a chance. I'm not bold. I'm like, next time I see him, I'll give my number because I was not bold this time. And I didn't see that man for 6 months. And then I randomly see him at a different Jackson's right next to my job. And I'm like, oh, is that a coincidence? And I sat in my car after I went into the gas station and I was like, should I go and give him my number? So I went back with a little piece of paper and I prayed about it. And I should have known because God didn't say, go ahead. He just sat there quiet. And I was like, well, I'm figuring because you didn't say no to do it. So I went and gave him my number. And I noticed he had a ring on his finger. And I was like, oh shit, he's married. But then I was like, because I already went through the motion of like, here's my number, bye. And I ran out. And I noticed while I was doing that he had a ring. And I was like, oh fuck, how embarrassing. But I was like, well, if he's married, he shouldn't be calling me anyway. So whatever, like, we'll just deal with it. He called me or texted me. And I was like, you never said anything about being married. And so I was like, well, let me not trip because maybe I thought it was on one finger and it was on a different hand, kind of whatever. Like, don't jump to conclusions. When I saw him, because I don't know if it was the same day or later, decided to meet up. It was at the other gas station that he worked at that I had first seen him at. And he was like, yeah, let's go kick it in your car and talk. The ring was on a middle finger. And so I was like, okay, maybe I'm just tripping. Like I thought it was on a ring finger and it was on the middle finger the whole time. It was on a different hand or a different finger. So I'm like, okay, no worries. We went into my car. We went around to the Lovers sex shop parking lot where it was closed because it was late. And you ate me out, like aggressively. But you couldn't get hard enough to like fuck. And I was trying to encourage you because I was like, I ain't never met no one that can't get hard. Oh no. And I think you liked the fact that I was being positive towards the fact that you were like not hard. I was like, no, so like positive energy. I think that's why you like me. Because then the next time I kick it with you, we're walking around the park and you're trying to explain to me why you should have never got married. Oh, you are married. Oh, you got kids. Oh, you are. No. Before we went to the park, you asked me to come over to your job one more time. I went over to your job. We went around the corner and you started just making out with me. Terrible. Almost broke my fucking jaw. And I was like, wait, how old are you? And you're like, I'm 38. I was like, I'm 28 or 27 at the time. I was like, you're 38? Oh. And he's like, how old are you? He's like, oh, I thought you were 24. I'm like, see, everybody's fucking up over here. And so the next time I kick it with him, he's explaining to me the marriage, the never should have got married, the I don't know what I was doing, I was moving too fast. I just did. And I'm thinking maybe he's sitting here to explain this and walk around with me so that I can understand that he's going through something and not to just like dismiss him. But I went and talked to my grandma and I was like, Grandma, this is the situation. And she straight up cussed me out. And I was like, Grandma, don't cuss me out. I hear you. I'm listening. I won't talk to him no more. I ain't talk to you. I told you I can't talk to you because you're married. I'm not talking to you. So while you're married, and I think you took that as until you're divorced. Wait, holler at me when you're divorced. I think that's how you took it. But I was like, nah, this is cut. This is done. So a year after that, I ran into a very nice gentleman at the dispensary. A year after that. And the irony is when he left to go visit his family, it was in February, the same day that I was like, bye to this man, you called me. The same exact day. And I was like, how ironic, how coincidental. Come to find out, you got divorced that very day. Oh, here's the paper. You sent me copies of the divorce paperwork. And I'm thinking, like, it's finally finalized or something because it's today that you got divorced. Maybe you've been separated. So I'm thinking, okay, give you a chance. Maybe this is a sign to give you a chance. You come around, you're telling me how you're single. You're telling me all the frustration of what you went through, blah, 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 about how she was not right for you and how the situation was that wasn't even really your daughter. You were just there for her since she was pregnant and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, oh, this is a lot more information than I knew before. But also, you were lying because I don't know, between us originally starting to hang out at my house and you calling me on the phone at the bar with her, talking about what are we on speakerphone, and then she's over here like, I like him too. I'm not competing with your ex. This is very childish for you to put me on the phone with her to what? To convince her that you're just dating people? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on here. Next time I talk to you, you're like, oh, she's worried about us. I'm doing the things with her with you that I was doing with her, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, because that's what happens when you move on. You do things with other people. I'm confused because I'm like, this is childish. And the fact that you're making it seem like she's the childish one, but you called me on the phone while you're at the bar with her. And you didn't say, hey, I'm sitting here next to such and such and she needs to know some stuff. You were literally saying, what are we? And making me explain something on a blind call. And then she calls me. No, sorry. Then we have a whole conversation about kids, about how you're not allowed to see kids because bitter baby mamas, and because this is what happened. You were with your baby mama, you got with your wife and married her, and didn't tell your baby mama you got married. So your baby mama supposedly decided to put you on a restraining order because you got married and didn't tell her. And she still was in a relationship with you. I'm like, so you're overlapping shit anyway. That makes sense why she's like, you got married and we got kids together and you've been messing with me. But at the time, it sounded like she's a bitter baby mama because you didn't tell me the whole story. I had to put it together, but you didn't tell me the whole story. And so now you're with somebody. You go from the woman that you have kids with to someone that's pregnant without your kid. And you marry her for whatever reason. And I realize now that you probably did because you thought she was more financially stable, and because you kept complaining that she had gotten lazy and that she would drink all day and not do her work. Her house would be messy, blah, 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 blah. When the reality is that girl was sick. And she had just gotten out of a settlement where she got her money and didn't have to work. And you're telling her she's lazy because she's miserable with you. Because you gave her HPV, which led to her having cervical cancer and needing her a hysterectomy. And you were fucking all these people while she's out here with cervical cancer. I didn't know that she had HPV until I was pregnant. I had a phone call with her about being pregnant because she was warning me about you. She wasn't even going off on me. That's why when you were so surprised that I said, don't break into my house, don't be coming over here doing nothing crazy, you were so offended because she told me what you did. Breaking into her house, doing all that shit. She told me what you did. So that's why I was like, maybe my friend, do a background check. You know what? You might be right. But I tried to give you some trust, but that was the dumbest part. That was the dumbest thing I ever could do. So I'm over here. Oh, this man's insane. This man is really playing. You got all this time to come over here. Show me how you were over there fighting for a car and dislocated your elbow. You came to my house after you dislocated your elbow trying to break her car window instead of going to the hospital. First of all, why did you dislocate your elbow trying to break a car window, you dumb fuck? Second of all, why are you at my house instead of the hospital? Your shit is straight up dislocated. And then third of all, what the fuck kind of intercession do you think I am for you to come over here? I'm thinking this happened on some fucked up shit. No, that was just you arguing. That was some regular argument that you be having. That's why she felt comfortable sitting at my house all the time later, because her daughter was over. Yeah, okay, I get it, safety, all this other stuff. But why do you have her daughter at my house if she's not comfortable with her being at my house? Why do you take my daughter to her house if she's talking shit on my daughter? What are you doing? And then you take all these pictures like you are having the time of your life. You're a great dad. Why are you using these kids to make you look like you're a good person? Either you are or you aren't. So I'm realizing this is a fucked up situation. But the thing was, before that conversation happened, me and you had a conversation about, oh, I don't get to see my kids. Oh, the bitter ex-girlfriend, the bitter ex-wife, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, dang, that's fucked up, because I know people can be like that. People can be really fucked up towards people just because they have the right to. Not my mom, not nobody's mom that I know, but I know that it happens. And so I'm like, okay, well, you know what? There's a lot of stress on getting shit together, getting it right. And I'm accepting the fact that if I have a kid, I have a kid. I had an abortion before that was awful. I'm older now and I have a job. If anything happens, it happens. Conversation between the two of us. Conversation. I said, you know what? It's like you deserve to be happy. I try to put that positive energy into the conversation because I feel like I deserve to be happy. Why can't you be happy too? Now, I'm telling him, if I end up pregnant because I'm not on birth control, then I'm not getting an abortion. That was our conversation. So, that's the conversation. We ended up having one sex session where I feel like that was potentially where I got pregnant. I'm thinking I'm pregnant from this sex session because of the angle and the way it happened and stuff. I'm thinking, okay, that's probably where. But I'm knowing now that the only way I really get pregnant is when I have a long vagina. Like, it's long. And if you are not in there and you're not making me pulsate, and it's not on some involuntary, it's because I'm relaxed enough to do it, then I'm not, that's the only time I've gotten pregnant. And for me, I never got, I've said this before, there's different kind of orgasms. This person is very aware of how to make a mechanical orgasm happen, where I'm like, why is my body doing this when I'm relaxed? I have had orgasm. Now my body is waving out more. What did you do? Because I'm not even mentally here, and yet my body won't stop. So it's like, and that's not even the same type of orgasm. It's not, because I'm not in it. So I was like, oh, I must be pregnant now because you came inside me and it was at an angle and all this stuff. And you've had kids before. So in my mind, you know how to get people pregnant. So I'm like, oh, okay, I feel pregnant. I should take a DNA or take a pregnancy test. Took the pregnancy test and I was pregnant. Holy shit, that was easy. Then I go to the doctor and they're like, you are further along than you think you are. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense because I definitely got pregnant this time in my head. Because before that, before this whole month of bullshit happened, I had a period after I was with the person who is really her father. So I thought, I'm not pregnant. But I had it after I found out I was pregnant via like the pregnancy test. I had it, and this is where I get confused sometimes because I'm like, I had 2 periods, but it was because I had an implantation bleeding. I had a discomfort and stuff too that was separate, but it wasn't bleeding. I had implantation bleeding before I got with this guy, and I thought it was a period. I didn't have all the pain and stuff with the implantation bleeding. I had the implantation feeling and pain later. It's very weird, but I also have weird hormones, so I'm like, I can't just say that's what happened because I don't know for sure. But what I do know is the doctor said when they found out, or when I went after my pregnancy test, I went to go confirm my pregnancy, they said I was further along than I thought I was. And they're like, we'll just see what happens because you look further along, but you're saying that you were insisting this is the day. And then when he found out that there was another nigga in my car at the doctor's appointment, he went off and said that he really thinks. So I'm like, why? I didn't know that he went to my friends and that he went and talked shit about me and that he said all that stuff till later. I was like, he's not going. I told her, I was like, he's not going to the appointments. Like, I don't know what to do. And she's like, well, he doesn't. And that's how I found out. I was like, well, shit. Well, fuck it. Because if you're not going to communicate with me how you feel. And obviously you're mad. I'm going to let you do you. I'm not thinking he really thinks that because I'm like, okay, you're mad. So when I'm, what is this? Pregnant and homeless in July, yeah. I call out to him because I'm like, you're her dad. Can I get some help? And he's probably taking it like, oh, this bitch wants me. No. See, this is why I'm like, I don't know what your headspace is at for real. Because the first conversation I had when I was there, because I didn't want to go. I was very upset that I was even there. And I really, even though I'm homeless and even though I'm out here, like, can I stay with you for a little bit because I was still going to work and everything. Can I stay with you for a little bit while I like figure out the next step type thing? He was like, please don't I'm not going to be here. You can be here and it'll be like, it's really your place. I'm working most of the time. It's a studio with no bathroom. It's a tiny ass space anyway. He was like, just don't have other dudes here. Why would I have other dudes in this tiny ass studio apartment that is yours when I'm homeless? Same thing when he got that house for the $3,000 that he put into it. Just don't have no niggas over here. So you knew the whole time. Like I even told him when he was trying to make it like this whole, I care about you. I don't care about what Jonay thinks. I just want you and the baby to be good. Blah, blah, blah. After I had the baby, I was like, I'm in love with someone else. I don't want to be with you. Oh, well, do you guys have a plan? Do you have it figured out? Oh, that doesn't matter. No, first I was like, because I was like, Brent, like I'm in love with him. Well, do you have a plan to figure it out? So you're more concerned about the safety and the regulation of my child, is what I'm thinking, than the fact that I don't want you. So I'm thinking, okay, it's good. We can figure this out because you understand I'm not trying to be with you. It's about the kid. But then I get my apartment, and then the dog happens. Let me go back. Because when she called me and I was pregnant, I was like at least like 5 months pregnant or something. Like it was before I ended up moving in with him that I had this conversation with her. And the whole HPV conversation, I was like, I didn't say my status because I knew I was negative. I had been negative. And I had been told by my doctor that you don't have to disclose HPV statuses. That's not necessary. That's everybody has some form of HPV. Blah 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 blah. So I'm like, okay, well, even in this conversation, I'm sitting here. I know I've been negative, and I know that I don't have to disclose it to you. So I'm thinking her disclosing it to me is on some like, girl, you were just telling business because everybody has HPV. According to me, at some point, it's possible. You don't have to have, like for me, I haven't had any flares, anything, uh, and I'm checking. I'm going to the doctor. I'm getting checked. So my concern was like, oh, even with the checking, maybe they were wrong. Maybe I am positive. Maybe it came from me. But you have to understand, the little interaction was almost 2 years before this. Because I was talking to the dude that is her dad for almost a whole year before all of that shit happened. And then he called me the very same day. So it was like 2 years before this conversation happened. And I didn't even process the fact that if you have active HPV, mind you, I didn't know that she was going through like having any type of complications with it. All she says is that he has HPV. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I could have given him HPV when he ate me out and whatever, and then it leading to her having HPV. Oh no, that's what I was thinking. But I didn't know she was already sick. Like when fast forward to that conversation, the conversation before the conversation where he bit me on the chin, he told me that she had cervical cancer and had to get a hysterectomy. That is, she was blaming him for all that stuff. I didn't process. It takes more than 2 years to develop cervical cancer once you have HPV. It takes a long time. So this man's had HPV. He's had it. And if anything, you try to pass it to me while I was pregnant. Before I was pregnant. While all this stuff was going on, you are having sex with people while you have a partner that has active HPV. Thank God I've been negative this whole time. I've been feeling guilty like it's possible somehow the science has been not sciencing. But it's because you got her sick and you're blaming her for being depressed. Oh, she's lazy. All she does is drink all day. She's about to get a hysterectomy involuntarily based on your penis. And she's warning me. She didn't even blow up or freak out on me or nothing. She's warning me. And the only reason I'm not registering what she's saying is because I'm caught up in my own shit of, oh, I know I've been negative HPV and I'm not supposed to have to disclose my information. But what if I give her HPV? Oh no. I'm feeling guilt-ridden. She's warning me. This older lady. So then, the apartment shit went to shit. Because fuck you, this ain't gonna keep coming up. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend we're trying to figure out if we're gonna be together because you wanna fuck. Because you want to taste breast milk and have all this experience as if we are together. That has nothing to do with me. I'm trying to get it together. I'm homeless. I lost my apartment. I'm still working, but not for long. The maternity leave money didn't come till like 2 months after I had her. So I'm in this maternity time, like trying to work. And then when I couldn't work no more, I'm broke and I lost my housing. So I'm going around like, hey, let me stay here until my shit, it's going to kick in. I got like $5,000 coming, but I don't have it yet. And you took advantage of that and trying to show off the money you got from like tax season. And you're over here spending it on a big ass house that you're saying is for all your kids that you supposedly can't see. When really, you're trying to impress me and trying to get me into somehow you think I'm bisexual to some extent. Or maybe, oh, well, see if the vibes are right and just whatever happens. Trying to get me a job with the lady that you went into this house with because she had money and a daycare. How she can, I could work with her daycare while I'm having her because I wanted to stay with my daughter and then get some money because I'm broke as fuck. This is before I even got my maternity leave money. So I was like, I'm broke as fuck. I need something. And come to find out, after a day of her explain to me what the job is and how it is and da-da-da-da. I get to go meet this lady because I'm thinking, okay, she's just a lady that you know. Come to find out, you're about to buy a house with her. She's asking me if you're a weirdo. I don't know that. She has a teenage daughter. Is he on some weirdo shit? Like, you know him better than I do. Girl, you're about to invest a house with this person. What do you mean you don't know him better than I do? I don't know him that well. I said, from my experience, I haven't seen him trying to be funky or weird, but I ain't been around teenage girls, so I don't know. Don't base it off of my opinion. Don't do it off your own research. But you over here about to put money into a house. I said, that's up to you. I'm not going to tell you. Because I was thinking she was asking, like, how is he as a person? Or is he responsible and all this other stuff? She's asking if he's a pervert. I don't know. But I was like, nothing in my experience would make me think that he's a pervert. Dismissing the fact that you were on some like heavy eat you out energy that I didn't like. And that you were really into like butt play stuff. Like, I'm not associating that with you being around kids because that's to me, that's two separate things. So I'm like, I don't know. That's on you to find out. But then you invest in this house with this person. And I'm going around trying to figure out how to include myself to get money because there was a job offered. But they're trying to sit there and play me and be like, oh, you comfortable? You know, me and him are doing stuff. I know you used to do stuff recently. Like, I'm not having a problem with it. I just think this girl's bisexual. I'm trying to see if I'm down for some stuff. I'm like, I'm literally homeless. I'm literally waiting on this approval from this apartment. I'm literally waiting on this money to come in. Literally, the only reason I'm here is because I keep getting into it with my parents. And I don't want to have to ask my parents for help for my responsibilities. I don't want to do that. I even stayed with my mom before this. And I was like, I'll just go to his house because at least I have an extra space there and I don't have to deal with this. But look what it turned into, all this shit. Oh, being at your mom's house is so much drama, blah, blah. Is it compared to this? Just because my mom is loud and fast talking don't mean it's any worse. The fuck? But I'm trying to be responsible. I'm an adult who has a kid. It's my responsibility. So I have a fresh 1 month, 2 month old in your house waiting on this apartment to approve. I even told the girl, I was like, the apartment is kind of janky. She had offered, she's like, stay at this house, save your money, save up to $10,000 and then go forward. Trying to be like a woman, I'm thinking supporting the idea that I want to be successful in this parenting journey. I'm like, that is this is an inconceivable way to look at how to live. Because what do you mean just save up $10,000 in this house while I'm working and we're in a safe space and all stuff? Do I believe that? Do I know that's true? But the idea of it sounds cool. And at the end of the day, you're the one that invested into this house for a stranger. This is your friend's house that has put money into or lets you put money into their property. And guess why that didn't work out? Guess why it didn't work out? Was it because I moved and didn't stay there? Was it because I didn't get along with Jonay and didn't get a job at her daycare? No. It was because that nigga kept smoking weed when she told him not to. She was begging me, please tell him to stop. Please tell him to stop. I can't tell a grown man what to do. He don't listen. So he got kicked out of the apartment or the house. I remember being there when the landlord came over and smelled the weed. It wasn't me. It was him smoking in the house. I would go outside and smoke. At the most, I would smoke in the bathroom with the window open. But I would go outside and smoke because I'm not trying to be responsible for you losing your house. So who's responsible for that? Because I wasn't even there most of the time. That time when the landlord came over, I don't even think I was there that day. I think I just came over and it was happened to be at the same time the landlord came over and opened the door, smelled like weed. Jonay been warning you, been begging me, been trying to figure it out. But why am I to blame for that? Why am I responsible? Because you made a decision. It's irrelevant. Just like when we're talking about the HPV. Let's all sit down. If that's her problem, if that's her biggest hang up and like she doesn't feel like things are safe, because I had a conversation with this lady. We can sit down and discuss the HPV because if I'm responsible, I'll take responsibility. He's like, no, that's not going to change nothing. That's not going to fix nothing. Because it wasn't about what I thought was going on. It was about what actually happened. What actually happened is you've been playing. You've been making this person feel like a piece of shit when you were the reason that they're sick in the first place. And the full circle of that is just knowing the truth. It's just knowing that that's what happened. So you don't want to talk about nothing because it always points back at you. So we're talking about my daughter and how she is, and that it would have been better to stay and have help from you than it would have been to be homeless right now and struggle for a little bit. And that's where I'm so grateful, because as much as I've been frustrated at being homeless, as much as I've been frustrated at this system and this process and everything, I know I'm safer than I'll ever be with you. When I first got into the situation, yeah, I reached out to you because I was trying to prove that you would never really help me unless it benefited how you looked. You sat there and said you wouldn't spend $3,000 on an apartment or a hotel for me. Why did you come up with such a specific number? Why are you being shady? Why are you telling me that I have postpartum when there's clear signs that something weird is happening with this relationship? Tell me I have postpartum and that's why I can't see things straight. You're as old as my mother, and I thought you were old enough to give me sound advice. I'm afraid that she's not drinking breast milk at daycare. Oh, well, don't you just feel special that she only wants you? But then when I actually asked you for help, hey, can you watch her while I go apply for work? Oh yeah, we could do that. I was down the street at the library. What the fuck did you think? It doesn't matter what you thought I was doing, but what the fuck do you think is going on where I need to come get her because you're mad that I'm outside? So you're trying to control what I'm doing when I ask you to babysit? I'm dressed nice when I go with your brother to eat because I decided to dress nice, and suddenly I'm trying to seduce and trying to do all this stuff when I said that we're not together. I want to dress nice. I want to look nice. I want to represent myself and my daughter in this situation well. But I'm trying to see, that's what happens when I get dressed. Everybody starts fucking hating. I don't have time. I don't have time. It is a threat on my life if I dress up at the wrong time. You wouldn't let me go to the library to apply for jobs, to just be able to focus on applying for jobs, because you didn't think that's what I was doing. And I know that you didn't think that's what I was doing, because you called me, 45 minutes after I was there to come pick her up. Oh, I want to see my niece. I miss her. Da-da-da. All this hype about you're willing to spend time with her. You got mad that I was outside. Let's be real. So now you're on my YouTube channel asking me where my daughter is because I'm talking about my experiences. Now let's talk about my experience with you. You reached out to my dad and asked him for my information to talk to me. You're lucky that your name's so similar to my aunt's name, because that's who I thought I was talking to. And I told you that. I thought this was my aunt and not you. So I apologize for even engaging. I would never have responded to you if I knew it was you. Let's just start there and be clear. Because like I said before, when I had first gotten to this situation and I asked you for some help, you didn't respond. This is the first time you've responded to me. How long has this been going on? That this is the first time you decided you're going to ask me what's going on and if I need help. And the first thing is, are you asking me if I need help? Or are you just trying to sit there and gather evidence and reasons why I'm a crazy bitch and your brother had me clocked right? So when you sent me that little funky $200, I didn't ask for it then. I said, yeah, I had asked for it before, but that was before. The fact that you see that it was saying that I asked you for some money, you knew that it had popped up on your fucking Cash App. Your brother didn't send me no money, so why the fuck would I ask you? Oh, she's my niece. She'll always be my niece. I care about her, blah, blah, blah. Then why didn't you ask, or first of all, reach out in the first place? The first thing I heard, I'm getting out of this apartment. I asked Vincent, can you help me pay my U-Haul fee? Because it's really your fee. When I first moved into that apartment, I had So basically, I had all of this furniture and stuff that I gathered from people donating stuff to me, having a lot of kid stuff, having a lot of available stuff in storage. I had asked you to get me a U-Haul or to drive the U-Haul with me. You had a $200 fee on your account. When we went to the U-Haul place, they joined our accounts without knowing that there was a fee. So to this day, I can't access my account because your $200 fee. You didn't remember it was a $200 fee that you owed. You were blasting me. I didn't know her back then. That's not my fee. It's not my responsibility. My account's messed up now because of it. No, and it was your fee from when you moved and didn't pay them. And I asked you to pay the cover so that I could have access to my U-Haul account again because they won't separate it now. I can't rent a U-Haul without paying $200 from your shit. No, I have a better way. You get a truck from your job and you move all my stuff. Okay, great. That was appreciated. Cool. That worked out. But when I moved out and I wanted to save that stuff, I wanted to keep it for the next place I was going into because I'm not staying here. Oh, I'm not paying $200. I was mad because you wouldn't let me stay with you this last time I stayed with my ex and she stole my money and didn't let me stay with her. That's your fault because I didn't let you stay with me. Oh, you're getting out of your apartment because you didn't pay rent. I didn't get evicted from that place, just to be clear. It was a month to month and that was the last month I paid. And I decided I wasn't going to pay no more. And you're blaming me for not taking your money to put into that. And that's the problem is that I moved out of the apartment. Okay, so you're mad at me for moving out the apartment, mad at me for not staying, but you also don't have $200 to help me keep my stuff. You're not going to help me keep my stuff. Okay, fine. This is a clean break to me because as much stuff as I'm mad that I have to leave behind and keep or whatever here, it is worth not being here, trapped in this city that's only benefiting you. Thank God for the county helping. They are very much resourceful. And if I would have known anything about that city, I probably would have considered staying there in a different area because just maybe, but at the end of the day, it's about getting away from you. So I'm in a whole different county. I'm in a different city. The people there are offering to help me for resources. And that worked out. Oh, good, because all that stuff wouldn't have fit and wouldn't have been able to come anyway. It worked out. It's the fact that between me getting the apartment that I was moving into and me getting a new phone, it was about a week of me not sharing my new number with you. You have been showing up to visit, to pick her up, to spend time with her. Oh, you guys are so close to my other kids. I just got access to my other kids to see them again. Oh, so you had a restraining order. Oh, okay. So now you're spending time with her and the other kids. That's great. That's fine. There was at least 3 times in this short span of time that she came back wet. Like literally you taking her to a water park or something and she was soaking wet. No towel, nothing. I didn't know you were taking her to somewhere to get wet. So I didn't have an extra change of clothes like that. And she was cold in your car. She was shivering when she got out the car because you had the AC on in her wet clothes. She had a full ass diaper. And I didn't bring you a diaper bag because I was like, if you're going to be coming and being around, you should have some supplies where I don't have to bring everything. And you didn't buy anything for her. You would buy shoes for her, but not a new outfit, not new diapers. And then the third time, I had been moving and I didn't have any of her clothes available because they were all in the move. So I put on some too small clothes. And I honestly forgot that you were supposed to pick her up that day. And he picked her up from daycare and probably was like, look at how she's dressed. Look how blah, 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 blah. But you still didn't buy her anything to make it better. You just sat there and was complaining. And mind you, you didn't say anything about the clothes. You had mentioned how she had been trying to kiss on everybody. Well, what is she doing that? I was like, well, she's very expressive. If she likes you, she's showing you that she likes you. But I don't think you took it like that. if you had any additional information to add about why my daughter is acting differently, you should share it so that I can know to look for it. But instead, you're just dismissive, or you're just acting like if I don't know, if I'm not going to speak on it, then you're not going to speak on it. Where's the safety? This, because you can't. The reality is this: the fourth time, you had mentioned how you were getting into a place and you're going to be stable and you're going to have more opportunity to spend time with her. And I said, because it scared me, because I'm like, oh God, are you going to try to take her because I don't have a place yet? You finally got a place before me, when I've been having that place for 2 years and I just got out and I'm trying to figure it out. You're trying to now all of a sudden you can get yourself a place. Now all of a sudden you get some stable space to be in. And I said, well, okay, let's counteract that. If that's the case, then if anything ever happens and I need you to watch her, is it stable enough for that? Can you watch her in those circumstances? Because that's something that would be good in the long run. I'm not saying I'm planning on being homeless. I'm not saying I'm planning on being struggling. But just in case that happens, are you stable enough for that? And it was kind of like a radio silence on that. That was the day we met at Burger King and you said she didn't want nothing but French fries. So fast forward, when I'm making these decisions, I'm thinking about all of these things. And it's really hitting me slowly. Like, this nigga really told me it was inconsequential whether or not we have a conversation with his ex that he's dealing with on a regular basis about something that potentially happened. I'm the grownest person in the room when I'm saying how to handle it. Oh, that doesn't matter. That's not going to matter, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it does. So now, I'm like, the best thing is to stay out of this fucking circus show that is your life. Just stay out of it. And the fact that I had to really process, I was like, this nigga really didn't take a DNA test and doesn't think she's his. That wasn't until I was in the domestic violence shelter in California. You want to sit there and ask where my daughter is? She's been in a domestic violence shelter in California. She's been in shelters with me, getting safe. Because at the end of the day, it is better than being with a liar. Someone that don't accept the consequences of their actions. They don't take responsibility for their part in things. They actually will put you in a circumstance where your health is at risk because they don't want to admit that there's something to it to consider. Maybe you shouldn't stay with me in this studio apartment because we're not together. And at the end of the day, I'm talking to somebody else. And while I'm talking to them, it's not appropriate that you're here. You didn't think she was yours, so why wouldn't you say that? Me asking you for help and you're over here trying to be the hero? Why? For your ego? To feel like you won to the nigga in the car? You already were growing your hair out and trying to change your style up to look like him. Let's be real. Like, what were you doing? Oh, I win if I get you. I win because I'm on the birth certificate. I win. You win, you win, you win, you win, you win. So basically, me being, oh, your car broke down, you lost your job, you surprised that I got another car, surprised that I was able to work, surprised, genuinely shocked that I got it figured out to some extent outside of him. Oh, I sell cars. How did you get this great deal? Because you're not the best salesman. I don't know what to tell you. Why didn't you tell me where you moved to? Why didn't you tell me your new phone number? I'm going to find you on Facebook, which I've never done before, and I'm going to threaten you with a private investigator because I can't access my daughter. Sir, I'm the primary. You don't have any legal access. You never did child support. You don't have no rights to sit here and say, that's my daughter, I'm going to take her. The visitations are based on my wants. But you're going to hire a private investigator because you can't get in contact with me? Okay, I get it. The last time I talked to you, you were supposed to pick her up. But guess what? Shit happens. How many times have you canceled on picking her up? So the time that, oh, I was supposed to see her and I haven't seen her and da-da-da-da-da, you started showing up to my mom's house uninvited several times. You scared my mom. My mom is a 5'4" older lady. You're 6'4". You bit me on the chin. You be breaking fucking windows. You be breaking in people's houses. You're intimidating. Not because you're a dark-skinned man. You're not even that dark-skinned. You're really just a menace. You're threatening me that your sister's gonna put a private invest. Oh, she works for the city, so she knows everybody's business. Basically, that's what you told me, Kira, when you called me. Oh, I can get access to the shelter, and I can try to streamline I'm in a different state, bitch. How much pool do you have? No, you're not gonna tell me where you are. No, I'm not telling you my business. No. Why would I do that? What the fuck would I do that for? You keep thinking that you have some type of pool where it's gonna be a benefit to me to fuck with you. And this whole time you're really trying to challenge my competence, because I was literally postpartum. Whether or not I had postpartum depression or whatever, I was literally postpartum. You're a 58-year-old woman at the time, and your youngest is what, 19? You still don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to me, because why? You have her and your older daughter on your fucking loan on this house. I don't give a fuck. You act like I'm a gutter ass bitch. That's fucked up. Because if I didn't know anything about anything, that don't make me a gutter ass bitch. First of all. Second of all, I do know a little something something. You ain't met my family. Vincent didn't come around my family till after all this shit. Because I was like, it would be good for them to meet you. My family didn't want to sit there and cut your throat because they knew you weren't shit. But they were trying to support my feelings because I was trying to be positive and have a family unit and all this other stuff. Oh, would you like to come to my uncle's birthday party in Vancouver? Oh, well, only if Vincent drives me because I don't have a car right now. Oh, well, I'm the hero for driving you down here. Are you a hero? Because the whole time, you couldn't just say, I'm here for my baby. No, you had to make it look like you were here in a relationship. Because why is everybody talking about, oh, do you think you, like, oh, he's not too bad, Shantia. What do you think? When I had you at my family's house, that was for them to meet the baby. You were there. Did I tell them that we were together? No. Did you tell your family we were together? Yeah. I told my aunt. The first time you met her was at her house. The second time you met her was at, or no, I forget. No, because September, October. You met her again at my uncle's house, and she came to the side and was like, yeah, he's not too bad, da, da, da. But if you don't think you can do better, and I was like, I think I can do a little better. She's like, okay, if you think you can do it. That was the language. That was the conversation. That was the communication. Nobody's over here thinking you're a catch. These men don't think you're a catch. They know what a catch is. But you drove me down here in your BMW. Oh my God, you must be someone special. And the reality is, I was disappointed because I was like, I wish they would have called you out. But how are you going to do that in a social setting? You just met somebody. Realistically, how's that going to work? So for you to threaten me a week after I changed my phone number on Facebook with a private investigator, like what are you trying to find? What are you trying to find? Me, where I physically am located? You're threatening to find me. You're threatening to stalk me through the quote unquote private investigator. For what? What did Kara tell you is legally binding for a private investigator to find to get me fucked up? Because the reality is, you just didn't have access. I stopped telling you about anything about my personal life and you started freaking out. I didn't tell you where I was going, what I was doing, where are you at? What are you doing? Why are you calling me like that when you're just quote unquote checking on my daughter? You're trying to catch me up on talking to another niggas because she's young and I'm supposed to be protecting her. I am protecting her. I don't got no niggas around here. I didn't even talk to her actual father this whole time. When I first moved into the apartment was the last time I talked to him. Like regularly. And yeah, I used to go door dashing with him and having the baby in the back. To be clear, because at the end of the day, that was my friend. Thank God he's her dad. Thank the heavens and the stars above that she is not your dad, your daughter, and that she is his daughter. Thank God. God don't play about me, bro. As much as I be wrong. But this would have been resolved if you just took the DNA test. But you refused. You dragged this shit out for no reason. Trying to sit there and say like, oh, you got me. You won. Oh, you're just so glad that I chose you. No. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's about her. And you refuse to make it about her. You refused. Oh, you buy her toys that I asked you to buy. You ain't never bought diapers till what? The very last visit that you had with her? And you just thought you were so cool with them fucking diapers. You wouldn't even keep her car seat in the car. If you weren't going to visit her, you put the car seat back in my house. So it's not like I could ask for you to pick her up in an emergency situation. And that's why I clown you about the Bajoran, because you couldn't hold her at 5 pounds. You couldn't hold her because your shoulders are bad and all this other shit. But you want to look like you're this top-notch person because you have her in a Bajoran. Because I think that's the truth. You didn't want the responsibility of not dropping a tiny baby, but you wanted the aesthetic of wearing a baby because it just something that just swoons the ladies. Like, how many women did you pull holding my daughter? Because she cute. The fuck? You won because you're on the birth certificate. That's what runs through my mind. You won because you're on the birth certificate. So you didn't believe she was yours. You didn't want to do a DNA test because you wanted to sit here and be involved regardless. Oh, that's noble, Shantia. You should feel blessed. You were a single mother. He had money. Single mother. Get that straight. I was raised by a single mother, bro. What makes you think I'm like, I need you to survive? My daughter needs a father, and you weren't doing it. You weren't good enough. You were sucking. And it proved to me that all that bullshit you're talking about, all them other women, came back down to you. You didn't even want to have a conversation about the HPV. You didn't want to sit down at a table and have an adult conversation about HPV. Because it was going to connect you to your lies. But it's about me. And my choice to be a single mom is the most stupid thing. Escaping you was a stupid thing. Not wanting to play a role to get along. I said it. I don't want to prostitute in my own house. Because that's literally what you're asking. But everybody ignores that because you're supposed to be this put together person. I'm supposed to be the mess. Remember when you said that I was going to be more successful than you? You felt like I was going to be successful before you would? How many opportunities did you have to be successful? So you're choosing to not be successful. And you're choosing to find someone that you think has potential to be successful. And then you're going to ride their coattails. That's all I heard. But where's my daughter? Let's go back to that question. What makes you think she's not in my face 24/7? What makes you think that she's not taken care of? What kind of question is that when the only time I even speak on my daughter, she's in my face? The only time I speak about my daughter is to protect her. Do you want me to spaz out so I sound crazy? You want me to sit there and tell you all my daughter's business to prove a point? I'm protecting my daughter from you. Oh, money, money, money. Nigga, your Porsche is ugly. Your house is ugly. I don't know why you chose Federal Way, you stupid bitch. You're ugly. Your family, I'm sorry they're all elders, but they're stupid. Because why would you sit there and not give advice to this man to get a DNA test? after the random ass bitch that came down with a cute ass baby is literally saying, I told you to get a DNA test. Why wouldn't the family encourage it? No respect. Because they know how your nigga of a brother is. You know how your nigga of a brother is. You're a fucking, I'm a big sister. I'm going to protect mine. That ain't your man. Chill out. You don't even let him in your house to stay. That man been homeless for how long? You told me yourself. I'm not letting him in my house with his drama. Then why are you talking to me like I'm an idiot? Every time I'm around you test me with some idiot shit. I ain't been nothing but polite to you. I bet you 100,000 times%, Kara, if you were around my family, you would be the ghettoest one in the room. I guarantee it. But you talking down on me. When I say ghetto, I mean idiotic, lack of resources, thinking you know something, thinking you own something and you don't, thinking you have authority when you don't. That's ghetto. Where's your daughter? Because Riley's the only one I even feel semi-bad about. Because she was a real ass girl. She did very considerate things. I don't play with that constellation, what day and what hour and what time was she born shit. I was being polite because I thought Riley was a good person, a nice person, but I don't play that shit for real. But yeah, you guys bought quality gifts. Things that were supposed to last. Guess what? They're all in that apartment that he didn't help me move my shit out of. So thanks. Thanks for everything, guys. Where's my daughter at? With me. Where am I at? Why the fuck do you keep asking? The only reason we need to talk is to get his name off of her birth certificate. The only reason we need to talk is to change her middle name. Because why did he name her some fucking goddess? That's the only thing I gave him permission to do, was name her middle name. He said that Alexandria because he wanted it to be like his daughter. Then he said it was Yemaya because he wanted to be like his daughter. Which one? According to y'all, which middle name does his first daughter have? Because either way, it's changing. The last name, the middle name, whatever I got to do. And I'm telling you this in advance so that when you do hear me reach out to you, you're not confused about why I am. The only reason I asked my dad to reach out to you to send that paperwork was so that I could get my custody shit together. But Kara don't want to be involved with that. You want to sit there and ask where my daughter is, but you don't want to be involved with the legality shit. I was trying to get a restraining order, but you don't want to be involved with getting that shit sent to you. Then why are you even fucking doing a private investigator? Because you have money to spend? Don't lose your house trying to find me. That's what I know. Don't do that.